Of the meta bubble, generally on the cutting edge. Some might say just kind of in a weird spot because of course he did have that vector at one point. On the other side, Kyna, it seems like he's back to the tried and true. I was watching his set earlier. The hammer was looking solid. It was looking like classic Kyna, but just like a little bit more comfortable with who he was instead of like what was happening towards the tail end of last year.
Yeah, I think we're definitely seeing the return to the way he used to play Axe on Taros, kind of the way that he eventually made the step away from Taros because he kind of felt like it was a little bit boring. It's, you know, it's the hopping around, it's the waiting and then hitting the N light or the waiting and hitting the D light. So you'll see quite a lot of movement before you see any initiations, and usually it'll be that N light. Oftentimes it'll be that D light as well, but now he's swapping over to the hammer.
Hammer into bow. We saw it work very well for the bow player earlier today in EU. We'll see if Kyna has a different answer. Generally, you kind of want to do like a gravity cancel stomp just to get over those downlights from the bow player, but Kyna doing a really good job staying low that time to avoid that N-sig.
Now, I'm curious how Kyna is going to do on this map specifically. We saw him choose it earlier in a previous set, so it seemed like he's comfortable on it, but this is also the map that he lost the World Championship to Use on, and he was also playing Hammer. He was playing Yumiko in it, but it was that final like gravity cancel side signature to get back on the stage with the Hammer that was the game-winning moment for Use. So I would be a little bit cautious of taking Use over to the stage, even if it was a successful one for him in previous sets.
Well, right now, Use with that stock advantage, still holding on to this bow. Kind of really hasn't found too much momentum, but at the same time, it's Taros into Ember. Like, every time he gets a hit, which is like maybe 4 times, he's doing big damage.
It feels like every one hit against this Legend is like 1.3 hits or 1.5 hits. Not quite 2, because that'd be crazy, but it feels like every hit just gives you so much more against this Legend.
Okay, goes for the sidelight, reads that dodge in. This is going to be payoff for Use. Can he go for the dare? No, backs away.
Man, you just see the dodging and dashing movement coming in from Use. He hit the sidelight, then you saw him dash forward, dash back, then go for another sidelight right after that. Whoa, the pinball with the ricochet off the main stage. He had the angle and he was ready for it. Gets the KO off the top, but he's about maybe 120, 130 damage behind Use right now.
Dude, that was a great reaction on Kyna's side because of where that recovery hit. Could have bounced off the platform, could have split in between the two platforms, and Kyna had to react to whatever happened in that situation. Side sick, gonna KO, Kyna's still struggling a little bit here against Use.
And we talked about the guitar meta. Like, it's interesting to pick Ember and really focus on the bow because, like, that's typically not like the bow legend that we see people moving over to. Even when guitars are popular, that's not really a legend we see picked very often.
Yeah, usually you'll see, I think like Kaya tends to be a little bit more popular if you're looking specifically for a bow legend. Also Koji tends to come to mind.
Stomp side air. Great setup, great disarm too. There is a weapon on the field that's kind of going to get it away. Or no, he's going to leave it out there. He's not really worried about the weapon starving game because he can just come in with a stomp into the down air, grab it, send off the top. I believe that means guitars are going to be coming in next for Use because he just picked up that bow.
That's if he can get the pickup. There it is. One thing that's really nice for Kyna, again, in this kind of stat matchup is he has a few more KO options than you generally would. He doesn't have to always go for stomp side air at these like optimum positions because that down air is going to be KOing Ember a lot earlier than a bunch of other legends.
I think you can see like how much Kyna respects Use as a player to the point that, and the other way around as well, because they're both like stacked on top of each other so often, and Kyna is like, he's too cautious to go for the D-Light, the stacked option on Hammer, and Use is also too cautious to throw out a move because he knows what can happen if he gets caught with a stomp right after that. It's going to be like 38 damage coming out so quickly.
I mean, these two, okay, the N-Sig and a KO, they've been like the peak of South America for a really long time. They've been like the two battling for the top spot for a really long time. With other people obviously doing well in the region, but it tends to be the two of them in the winter final grand finals.
Let's see if we switch up the stage options. We are still going to have Mishima Dojo coming in, and that's where Use wants to go. Maybe Kyna just feels that the stage is not like a big issue here. That's not the reason that he's losing these games, and a change of scenery wouldn't really do too much for him.
Yeah, I don't feel like the soft platforms really made any difference. Like, it's not like Kyna was doing the stomp, like utilizing the ledge cancel soft platform. It's not like Use was having his arrows get stuffed out because he's not holding down into the soft platforms on his bow down airs. It really kind of just didn't play a factor.
Yeah. He was going like reasonably deep out there when he got hit. Like he was jumping to the right away from the main stage before then coming back again. A sidelight. You see the dash back and the dash forward. Maybe kind of can see that coming. Now again, you see him go for the sidelights and then the dash back.
Yeah, both of them being really reserved with their actions. Sidelight. Keep him on the corner. Doesn't go for the signature over the corner.
Now, so far with the signatures that we've seen a lot of the neutral signature and we've seen a lot of the side signature on Bo. I think Yuz is doing a great job of making both of those seemingly like always an option that Yuz can go for. Oh, if I'm in the air, okay, we're going to get the triple. He tried it, but he missed it. Am I going to go in the air? Here comes the neutral signature. Am I on the ground? I can eat a side signature. And you go over to the Katars as well. You can also hit that side signature. So if wherever Kyna wants to be, like Yuz has a signature that's really good that he can use successfully to find a stock or at least put a bunch of damage.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Kaya, like that 50-50 has been one of the powerhouses, or the reasons why she is such a powerhouse. Ember has that as well, just with less defense, but obviously more dex to pay off.
Okay, you're seeing a little bit of soft platform extension. You're seeing the neutral air come up, and then Yuz will go back up. He still hasn't found a hit, but you see the idea in his head. Again, the in-light, but now he's going to stay grounded. I can't believe he got that neutral air. That was basically a stacked neutral air on a grounded opponent that Kyna found. There's the side light. In comes the down signature. It was a little too close to the stage, so Kyna was deep enough for the push-off column. There's the stomp side air. Again, you reach that down air behind you. That's where the first hitbox comes out, is actually behind you, which is why oftentimes you want to stomp and pivot your dare depending on where you pick up the stomp so that you can get the first hitbox and get it true. But again, these side sigs, man. The KO potential that Yuz brings to the table with this Ember pick.
It's really interesting. You talked about how often they're like stacked up, and I feel like more often than not, it's used to be the first one to press a button, and it's been working out in his favor. Like just a moment ago, he just hit the SIG button. He also does the side light first, whereas Kyna's like moving around a lot more.
Yeah, it feels like that fear of Yuz is really put into Kyna's heart to the point that like Yuz is the one making the first move, where oftentimes in the past it's been the other person, whether it's Kyna, it doesn't matter, whether it's the other person making the first move, and then Yuz is the one to punish off of that. So he can now be the initiator just off of fear alone.
All right, Kyna gets in there, gets that stomp. He's looking for the neutral air, but you can see Yuz making sure he doesn't get too vertical against Kyna.
He was saving that dodge too once he got closer to the ground because he knew Kyna was going to punish that approach rather than really punishing up high in the air. The side sig, there's the stomp Sayer, great punish. Can he extend the edge guard? Goes in with the down air. It's going to disarm. There is a weapon spawn on the field. Yuz makes the movement, then backs up. Kyna's going to stand right on top of it, hoping to pick up a down light. It despawned. Weapon spawn comes in. Yuz is not going to go straight for it.
Okay, the side air will do it. Kyna still behind in that damage department. Going to be sticking with the axe now. I believe Yuz is going to be coming in on... okay, it's the bow. I thought it was on the Katars already.
Is Kyna just going to play the punish game with the in-lights here, or is he going to get a little more confident? He's just been taking a few hits. Not even the KO hit yet. Luckily, he got sent off stage with that, or otherwise he probably would have gotten caught by that neutral signature, and it's just going to be the neutral air on that right side, and now Yuz is going up 2-0. These are really, I wouldn't call them quick games, but they're extremely clean games, so the tempo still feels a little bit elevated.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What happened just there was Kyna, I think, was playing like 3 steps ahead. Generally, a standard axe player will go for like a dare ground pound in that spot, and usually the way you go around that is you go onto the stage earlier. So kind of tried to cover the stage, and then Yuz was like, I'm still below you, and you've just burned your dodge. It was a little bit of a like 3D chess, 4D chess.
Now, they went through the stage banning very quickly. Obviously, we know they ended up on Worlds End. Were you able to catch what happened with Mishima? Okay, so it was banned out by Kyna.
Well, he is down 2. Small World's End. He's hoping to get some quick KOs here.
I think this could potentially, without soft platforms being kind of in the way whatsoever, I think this gives Kyna better vertical KO opportunities. You are going to get earlier KOs on this map than you would on Mishima with like a bow, but I think this is really going to help out Kyna if he can find those down air KOs, something that he loves to get. Stomp side air sending over to the edge, potentially an edge guard. No, he's going to back up. He moves out just a little bit, but then always backs up, or at least that's the way it's been so far.
Ooh, again, Yuz just calling out the movement of Kyna, that scared movement of him. Just throws out a side signature and another side air, and Kyna gonna lose that first stock.
And that's what's so scary, is you're in that neutral opportunity where you're just kind of dashing forward and dashing back. Nobody really has the advantage, but because of that fear of Yuz inside of Kyna's heart, Yuz can just open up with a raw side signature. He doesn't have to set it up. He doesn't have to go for a read. He just does it. He just straight up presses the button when they're both standing still in the middle of the stage.
Okay, Kyna gonna go in, hit that down signature, will KO. Sticking with the axe.
Yuz able to grab the weapon very quickly. Here come the Katars. Again, it's mostly been dominated by Bo so far. We've seen a couple side signatures come in from the Katars, but nothing major. We haven't seen any attempt at half pipes or anything like that. We haven't seen side light neutral light. Okay, there's the side light D-light. He goes for the turnaround D-light read, but doesn't make a connection with it. Again with the side light. He gets punished on 2, but he stays above the down air. Out comes the axe in light. Almost falls into another one.
All right, Hughes gets in, still hits the neutral light, and that was a burn dodge on Kyna. So Hughes was able to get that follow-up recovery as well.
Man, Kyna's in KO damage just and there it is. He's just right there with it. It's so scary that he can summon that so quickly and just use it.
I mean, that's a huge thing that works really well in the current meta of like a lot of dash landing. It tends to be in that horizontal space, and uses just covering it with these end sigs and side sigs. Kyna in a lot of trouble here. Don't think he has the movement. Yes, he does.
And he's still able to chase him down, find the unarmed recovery. He's not even able to punish that. He was too far in front, and it's just the recovery like that. And Hughes is truly making it look easy. He is absolutely destroying Kyna. There are no buts about it.
It's crazy because Kyna is such a powerful force against literally everyone else, and then he goes up against Hughes and just sees like this massive brick